Hey, it's Don, the Auction Professor here. Today is Sunday, so it's time for another What's Sold on eBay. So we're going to hop over the screen right now and just show you a small sample of what we sold in the past 7 days. So here we are to our first item here. I've showed these for quite some time. We do sell a lot of actual photos, whether they be stills from movies, promotional items, or military like this. Now this is a World War II or earlier photo. It's an original authentic one issued by the US government or by one of the actual companies who was contracted to supply the government with planes. This one went for 30 bucks, which is about average on these. Next one here is a postcard from California, Route 66. It's a real photo, a real picture postcard. It did sell for $57.50. It's $1 purchase or less. It's only been up for about a month, so I'm fine with that price on this one. Now the next one here, I don't know if I showed this or not, but we do buy paper dolls quite often, even if they're cut or used paper dolls like this one here. Most of the pieces are still there. Some of them aren't cut out, as you can still see. We took $25 on this one here. I paid $1 for it, as well as a bunch of other ones, so 25 bucks is more than fine on this one. The next one here is a Territory of Hawaii postcard. Not very descriptive. It's kind of hard to even tell what's going on. If you didn't see that little tag on the bottom saying it's the volcano there in Hawaii, you might not have known. I took $10 plus postage, as I do for everything on here. Now, I sold some cylinder records. I blew some out. Now, I'm going to show you just a couple. They went to totally different people, believe it or not. They did go on sale, so I started getting multiple offers in on them as well. This one I took 10. These go up and down all over. I don't usually sell them for less than 10. I've sold some for, say, 50 or 60, but these are the leftovers here. So this one went for $10, and this one here went for $14.50. Again, they went to two different people. I sold several other ones just besides these. I've got about, say, 50 cents into each one of these from the purchase time, but I have sold a bunch, so at this point I have really nothing into them, so whatever I get is just extra money out of these, and they all pretty much are photographed the same way. I don't care if your hand is in these type of things. Not the best to hold on to them, but it's kind of hard to photograph them otherwise, so anyway. Next one here is an 8mm film. I do sell these quite often. This has magnetic sound, which is the key. There's two different versions of sound for most of these. There's optical, which isn't very good sound, and then magnetic, which is pretty much what you would see on a newer movie, actually, like a 35mm. This one did sell for $34.50. It went to England as well, too, so good sale on that behalf. Now here is a really small, pretty much nothing. It's just a bad-looking card. Creases, it's staining, the whole works. But this one went for 75 bucks. And this one here is for Her Majesty's Opera of Pinafore. So you should recognize that if you know anything about theater and stage show. It's been around for a long time. But again, 75 bucks for this one, just because it has Her Majesty's in the actual title description. It says the performance, the time frame, and where it's being performed. So it's a rather interesting item here. Again, 75 bucks for that card. Now here's a Christmas ornament. This one sold for $22. I did put some of the Christmas on sale after the holidays. You never know what it's going to go for. This is a cute little elf ornament thing. Silver plated. I'm fine with the $22 out of it. Next one here is a postcard, and I took $14.50 on this one here. The Santa Claus isn't that good. The image isn't that good. We actually hadn't gotten to this one to actually improve it. So anyway, I'm fine with that price on this one. Next one's Waring's Pennsylvanians. It's a hot dance one. It's just a typical jazz from the 1915-20s-ish era. I took 20 on it, which is about average. I pay $1 for all these. Again, I sell a bunch of records. I just don't show them because they all pretty much look the same. I'll throw in a couple here or there if there's something interesting, or just to remind you about what we do sell. And we do sell records on multiple platforms too, so keep that in mind also. And then the next one is a lot of Gumby and Pokey bendable figures. Now I took $12.50 plus shipping. These are quarter items. I paid $0.25 a piece for these, so I have 75 cents into the actual expense on these, and they're all marked. They're all original, all vintage. I think there was 2 Pokies and then 1 Gumby in this, and the Gumby one's a newer one. It's not the original vintage 60s version. So I'm fine with that. 75 cents in. I got basically just over 10 bucks back out of it. Next one's a little toy cannon. Pencraft aren't very popular. I paid 50 cents or $1 for it. I got $8.50 back out of this one here, so I'm fine with that on this one. Next one here, again, I sold one of these not too long ago for I think $5 to $7.50 or somewhere in that range. And this is just another one of those. I bought several at the same time. I don't mind buying multiple of these quarter items or $1 at the very most for most of these. And this one I believe went for $8.50 on this one here. Keychains do very well if you're unaware. They don't sell massively high and you're not going to make a fortune, but you pay almost nothing for them and you're going to make $8-10 profit on average on most of the average keychains that I end up seeing. Here's a postcard, Flying Fortresses, B-17 bombers. It's just a typical postcard. I paid 50 cents for this one here. I got $14.50 back out of it in just a matter of a few weeks. Now here's a sticker advertising. This would be something you just stick on an envelope or pretty much anything really. This one went for 25 bucks because of the actual dog on it, the bulldog. People collect just bulldogs and they'll buy paper items from us just because of the dog on them. And sometimes people will buy multiple items like every one that we have with a bulldog on it, or pugs are hugely popular right now. It's just a small piece of paper. It's basically would be considered a poster stamp as well. Now, the next one here is a GAR, Grand Army of the Republic, reunion piece from the Civil War. I took 15 bucks on it. It doesn't say GAR. I know that's what it's from because I bought a huge assortment of GAR items probably a year or so ago, and there's only a few of them left. We've more than tripled our money on them. I've just got a couple bucks into any of the items I got, and at this point, they're all paid for, you know, probably 2 or 3, 4 times over because we've made that much profit on these items. Buying in bulk is key. I bought like 40 different GAR items all at the same time. Spent hundreds of dollars on them, but again, I've gotten well over $1,000 back, I would estimate, on these items here specifically. Now here is a paper doll assortment. Now the photo's not so good, unfortunately. Somebody should have darkened this up. These are paper dolls from Lion's Coffee. I believe it's the whole set of these as well. It comes with the cat, the cupboard, the dog, the lady's hat, and the lady herself. So there's a couple of extra items of the same, like duplicates in here. Fine with that. It went for $22.50, so perfectly happy with that. I've got almost nothing into that. Now here's a clock. Now I went into some detail on these on my Patreon page. So if you're in Patreon, you recognize this already. I got $150 out of it. I'm not going to go into how much I paid for anything, but I paid almost nothing for this as well as several other of these. So next one here. Now this card here sells because that's basically a rendition of Oscar Wilde. Look up Oscar Wilde if you're not familiar with who he is. Anything with his image on it from the Victorian era goes decent. This one I sold for $17.50. This is a generic version of Oscar Wilde. The uniform, the outfit he's wearing would be something that Oscar Wilde would have worn almost to the T. So just keep that in mind. Oscar Wilde stuff always sells. And this card was trimmed, and it still actually went for decent money. So there's a whole movement around Oscar Wilde, so the aesthetic movement. So you could look that up as well if you're interested. Now, here is a Hold to the Light Hires Root Beer advertising piece. It even says Hold to the Light up there on the top. Now, this carried over into postcards. This is where the Hold to the Light postcards started from, these trade cards. Basically, it looks like her eyes are closed here, but when you hold it up to the light, it looks like she's laying on a Hires Root Beer box and her eyes are open. Then you see the actual text as well. So the information from the back side, when you hold it up to the light, will shine through to this side. It's printed in reverse on the back, so when you look at it from the front, it's correct. So anyway, this one sold for $20. This one here sold for, I believe I got $14.50 out of this one. That's an early postcard. Probably circa 1899 to, say, 1905-ish. I don't see many advertising ones on this one here. We've had it for a little while, so I'm fine with the price on it. And the last item is just another pencil. $8.50 is what we got out of this, and it was shipped. So that's just a typical example. It's just a standard pencil. Number 2, advertising Penn Central Railroad. We do all kinds of other sites and platforms. We only show a very small portion of what we actually deal with on this one account. So anyway, that's what we have for you today. Well, there you go. There's some more items we look for. Hopefully that gave you some ideas and some thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified when I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell a friend.